Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, your girl Sarah B, and we are back with another video. Welcome back. It is 2021 and I have been through it. Have you been through it? Are you okay? How you doing? Girl, 2020 was a roller coaster and a half. So if you're here, welcome to my channel. We do kind of like whatever I feel like doing today, and today I feel like doing a book review. So listen, before I dive into that, I just want to take a quick moment to check in, let you guys know what's been going on, I guess, behind the scenes. Funnily enough, I made a whole video about like where I've been, my life, and how hard 2020 has been, and then all the footage got deleted. And so I think that was the universe's way of saying like, hey, maybe like let's take a pause really quick and shorten that and get everything you need to do and just like kind of check in. But I did want to come on here and just let you know that if you've been feeling like sad and depressed and just like 2020 has just taken every ounce of soul from you, girl, you are not alone, okay? We've all been going through a really hard time, but it is a brand new year, new us, new me, new you, new vibes, okay? So we're just gonna keep looking forward and take everything day by day, and today is a good day. So I thought today would be a good day to do like a review on a new subscription box that I started getting. If you're like me and you know, quarantine has been like a bitch and a half for you and you just have absolutely no idea what to do with your time, this is the box for you. If you like reading, I think I should have prefaced that with the fact that like it's about books, okay? So if you don't like books, you're probably not gonna like this box. Honestly, even if you don't like books, this is a really fun way to like reintroduce you into the world of reading. I myself am like an avid bibliophile. This is only like one of like 20 of my bookshelves. They're all over the place. I won't show you because my office is a mess right now, okay? But this was a really great way to reintroduce me into reading, because honestly, I had been trying to read a book since college, okay? I graduated with a degree in literature, and even then, I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't read all the books that I was assigned. Don't tell my professors. They knew. But I'm a really good writer and a really good BSer, so do your research, kids, okay? Don't be like your sis, all right? Just read the book, okay? I just happen to just I've read enough books in my life to know that there's like common themes in a lot of them. But I digress. So one of the biggest things for me was that like I would literally, girl, I haven't read half the books, at least here. Like these are books that I've meant to read, that I've bought, and I'm like, these look really interesting. One of the biggest, like side note, a book that a lot of people have recommended to me has been 1Q84, I think if that's how you say it. All of my friends who've read it say it's really awesome, so that's one that I really want to get to at some point. But girl, it's been hard. So I saw these books, and if you've been like me, again, you're just buying everything that you see on the internet right now because there's nothing else to do, and you're just feeding into consumerism like the rest of us. Let me tell you to put your money towards something that is going to enrich your life, okay? I recently discovered Once Upon a Book Club. So first, let me start by saying I am not sponsored by them. It would be really cool if they decided to sponsor me, but I bought all of these out of my own money, my own volition. They are not asking me to do a review. I just really liked the concept, okay? So every month you get a book or a box like this, and they have a adult subscription box, which is the pink, and then they have a young adult, which is green, and I would show them, but my office again is a mess. So every month you get a box that is filled with one book and a bunch of different gifts that you can open based on the page that you're on in the book. And I thought it was really cool because honestly that like motivation to be like, oh, what's my next gift and what's my next this was just like was a really cool concept to me. So I decided to subscribe, and I'm gonna go ahead and review the first box that I received, which is from like October, I think. This is my October box. I do want to start out by saying some kind of like pros and cons of the box, and then just kind of dive into the book itself. Have you ever read a book that was just like perfect to exactly what you were going through at that time? This was the box, okay? This book honestly changed a lot of my perspective in terms of how I view life. So you know those books that are like The Alchemist or Eat, Pray, Love, that are just kind of those books that just really help you kind of realign your perspective of where you need to be thinking. Because, candid moment here, if we've learned anything from 2020, it's that we really have to shift the way we've been going about everything, really. So a lot of like social constructs and a lot of mindsets that we've been having have really just kind of come to a screeching halt, and now we're trying to figure out how to survive in this new world of just being stuck at home all the time and getting sick if we go outside, and not to be extreme, but also to be extreme. You know, not being able to see our friends and family as often as we would like, or at all in most cases. So reading this book specifically really helped a lot in the kind of overthinking that tends to happen when you have like too much silence. And I will be honest, I think that kind of processing and thinking through a lot of things that you've been through is always a good thing to do. I'm a big proponent for going to therapy, but I also believe that too much overthinking can lead to really just awful rabbit holes of darkness and depression and all that stuff. And if I'm being honest, that's kind of what happened to me over the holidays. So with the holiday season, and I think I've mentioned before, my mom passed away, and so this holiday season, girl, was so rough. Okay, rough with a capital R-U-F-F. All right. Yes, I know that's not how it's spelled. Okay, but it was just, I don't know, man. Like, I honestly just started going through a lot of things that had happened, before my mom passed, and a lot of ways that we interacted with each other. And I keep looking over here because I have a picture of my mom like right in the corner, so she's looking at me, she's watching me do this video. But I really went through it this year, or this last year. So 2021 was a welcome just please, new year, breath of fresh air. Okay, but I don't want to, deviate too much from the book review. Okay. So this box, I think, like I said, it was, I believe, the October box, if not the November box. One of the cons of the box, overall, was just the shipping time. However, I'm not going to like use this too much against it because of like the sheer volume that they have of things, and a lot of things that are beyond their control, in terms of, like the little gifts that they order for the boxes, sometimes are back ordered or backlogged, the volume of boxes that they have. And so I think there's a lot of kinks that they still need to work out in terms of like shipping and stuff like that. But again, not holding too much against them, because I started and I came into it like right into the holiday season. So the postal service was already like super overwhelmed and super packed. They were really good about keeping up with emails and saying like, giving shipping updates, everything like that like I could have really asked for. So I'm a very patient person. I didn't receive my October box till like November. One of my November boxes for young adult lit barely got shipped to me, I think at the beginning of January, and I had to let them know that I never received it. And they also let me know that they lost the post office lost a lot of boxes. I think they lost like 200 of their boxes. So again, they're one of the greatest like customer service supports that I've encountered as far as like anything having to do with retail. So I really recommend this box. Do not get caught up with the fact that you might get your box late, because it's fine. You'll be fine, And with that in mind, this month's box included The Midnight Library from Matt Haig. And when I tell you, this is just chef's kiss, okay? I got lipstick on it, so it's okay. It's fine. I honestly haven't read a book this impactful since I read probably The Alchemist, honestly, by Paulo Coelho. If you haven't read it, go read it. It'll change your life also. So I think this book came at a perfect time in my life when I really was just feeling so just like down and distraught by the chaos of the world, and really overthinking a lot of where I had been in life and where I am and where I'm going. I'm almost 30 and I really feel like, what the hell am I doing with my life? And just take comfort in knowing that it's okay that you don't know what's going on. You'll get there. Every day is a new journey. So again, I have like a completely different outlook on how we're gonna move forward in the new year. Okay, so this box came with 4 gifts, and each of them have a page number and a marker that say exactly when you're supposed to open the gift. So for instance, and they kind of all look like this. I wrote on this one because I like to annotate. I also wrote in this book, which is very rare for me, but I thought there was a lot of really important things that I wanted to just remind myself for when I read it again later, because I do reread the same books over and over again, even though I have a stack of books that need to be read. It's just who I am as a person, okay? And yes, I did open these, but I wanted to make it look like they were fresh and kind of do like a cute unboxing with you. But this is from page 34, page 195, page 131, and page 266. So these are just kind of the packaging that they come in. So the big theme in this book is really about life, regrets, and choices that you make. The synopsis for the book centers around our protagonist, Nora Seed, as she embarks on this new journey between life and death. And spoiler alert, from here on forward, just kind of spoiler alert, I am going to talk about a lot of the book. So, and just kind of not give too many spoilers, but just kind of talk about big themes that reoccur throughout the pages and all that stuff. So if you don't want to know what the book is about, or you don't want to know more details, please click away and come watch later, but please watch, okay? So the book starts out with a foreword of sorts, with an introduction by a poem by Sylvia Plath that I think encompasses the theme of this book. And it says, "I can never be all the people I want and live all the lives I want. I can never train myself in all the skills I want. And why do I want? I want to live and feel all the shades, tones, and variations of mental and physical experiences possible in my life." Sylvia Plath. So we're introduced with our protagonist, Nora Seed, and she is just kind of living a life, just going about and not really knowing what she wants out of life. She works at a music shop, she teaches lessons, and she's just really depressed. And that's actually something that's brought up by by her boss. She ends up losing her job, she ends up losing her lessons, so she decides to end her life. And as she is kind of in limbo between life and death, she encounters this library. And as she enters the library, she sees that the shelves and the books are seemingly infinite. As she moves forward into the library, she encounters an old friend of hers, a librarian from her elementary school, Mrs. Elm. And Mrs. Elm explains to her that she is essentially in between life and death. And as she is there, she is actually able to experience every single life that she's ever wanted because of the possibilities of parallel universes. So of course, there is a sense of disbelief on Nora's behalf, and she embarks on like this initial journey into figuring out what her first regret in life would be. And so one of the books that Nora finds is actually the Book of Regrets that lists every single regret that she's ever had in life, as far as like her not being an Olympic athlete, her not being a musician, her, not being there enough for her mother, and all these different things that, that she's regrets that she's had in life. And as she opens the book, it's like she gets so overwhelmed by the grief and the loss and the feeling. And it's something that I thought was very interesting on Matt Haig's part, that it is a feeling that we are very much all accustomed to. I think we all have our own set of regrets in life. And I thought it was very important that he was able to actually embody the feeling of regret into a book, and to make it kind of like a physical being of, or something that you can like physically tangible to see, and to have all of your regrets listed out, and to also have the overwhelming sensation of what it's like to just be completely overwhelmed by every single one of your regrets. And I think that's something that that we feel in our own lives, as far as like that can lead us to depression and can lead us to having anxiety. And so I thought that was just a really important part on Matt Haig's part. So as she goes along, she starts kind of small, and she, like, her first journey is her going back to before when her cat was alive, because one of the things that she, in her waking life, was that before she had decided to end her life, her cat is found dead on the side of the road. And so her first thing was like, okay, I want to go back to a time where I didn't let Voltaire out so he couldn't, die on the street. So Mrs. Elm, picks a book off the shelf and hands it to her. So she finds herself back into her apartment, and initially starts looking for Voltaire and is calling him out, and she finds him under the bed and he's gone, you know, he's dead. So, you know, of course, like her initial feeling is just so much hurt, and that, you know, that she's like, I don't understand, I didn't let him out and he's still dead. And so she finds herself back in the library, and Mrs. Elm explains like what's supposed to be dead is dead, essentially. So Mrs. Elm explains to her that some things in life are just kind of predestined to end up the way they are. And in this life, Voltaire, you know, was meant to die. And so initially he had made the conscious decision as a cat, and like a lot of pets do, to not die in the house and to not be around for Nora to see or to find, and so she wouldn't be so absolutely devastated by it. And a lot of pets do that, actually. And so it goes on as she kind of catalogs every single one of her lives. So this is like a reoccurring theme that you find with every single life that she lives. And as she goes through, she realizes that although she had the regrets of what these lives could have been, it's realistically like not the best thing for her. One of the things was she didn't want to end up, you know, breaking up with her boyfriend, and she wanted to stay with him. But then she finds herself in this relationship that's essentially like loveless, and they can't stand each other, and he drinks too much and they never really talk to each other. In another one, she's an Olympic athlete, and she still finds that she's super depressed, and a lot of the things that kind of followed her in her like root life are still themes that she finds in all of these other alternate lives that she could have lived. And so this is something that I thought was so important to note, in that you can change your circumstances and you can wish that you lived all these different lives, and you could have wished that you'd done something differently, but that's not going to change how you feel as a person. And for me personally, who is somebody who is full of many, many regrets in life, I just thought it was really important to sit down with myself and say, like, yes, there are so many things that you could have done differently, but I think you ended up where you're supposed to be. And I think that's something that Matt Haig really tries to drive home in this book. And it's honestly, I identify so much with Nora, especially because a lot of the things that she like talks about, where she finds herself, you know, like wishing, of course, like not that I wish I was like an Olympic swimmer or anything like that, but there are avenues of school that I wish I would have gone through, and there are different things in life that I could have done differently. But at the same time, I realize that all of the things that I've done in my life have kind of culminated to make me into the person that I am now, and to bring me to this moment. And while, yes, things are not exactly the way I planned them out to be, but I'm pretty happy considering everything that's gone on. I have a really good partner. I have a great partner, okay? I have a home, I have pets that I love, I have a car that works, and so it really just shifted my perspective a lot of thinking, yeah, like you could absolutely just be so, you know, caught up in the regrets of your life, but it's not going to change anything, and it's not even going to say that you're going to be a happier person because of it. So that aside, I do want to kind of go into the gifts because I really loved this concept. This is kind of your spoiler alert for the gifts that I'm about to open, based on the pages, and I'll kind of go into the page and then kind of read an excerpt from the book. So the first package we open is introduced when Nora is introduced to the Book of Regrets, okay? And Mrs. Elm kind of explains what the Book of Regrets is, and she says, every regret you have ever had since the day you were born is recorded in here. I now give you permission to open it. So, with that in mind, I opened this package, and it is my own Book of Regrets, okay? And inside of it, sorry. And inside of it came a little pamphlet that says, open at the end of the next chapter. And it says, the Book of Regrets Challenge. Dear reader, take some time and on small slips of paper, write down every regret you have ever had since the day you were born, and toss each one of them into your Book of Regrets. While reading, every time Nora finishes one of her regrets, take a slip of paper at random and reflect on how your life would have turned out to be had you followed through with that particular opportunity. Imagine the best, then imagine the worst, then close your eyes and let go. I'm going to be completely honest and say that when I was reading this part of the book, I bawled my eyes out, okay? I had a lot of unresolved, I still do actually, have a lot of unresolved resentments and regrets and things that have kind of just held me back over the years. And I do want to share, I did keep my slips because I wanted to make this video, but I do want to share a few of them with you. Not that one. That one's going to make me cry. So some of these are pretty kind of like shallow regrets. Like I regret not taking language more seriously. I regret, not saving more money when I had the chance to, and all these different things. But a few of the ones that I thought were really important really centered around my relationship with my mom. And one of the things that really just kind of has plagued me in these last 2 years, I'm trying not to cry, has plagued me in these last 2 years, has been the fact that I felt like I was not there enough for my mom. But no, it doesn't matter like how much or how many people tell you that you did a good job and all that good stuff. But when you have a parent who is sick, it's just every single moment counts with that parent. And this is something that I found, especially in Nora's life. I know her mom actually passed away from cancer also, weirdly enough. And one of the things that brought me comfort is like I spent as much time as I possibly could in that moment. And knowing that I was there for my mom when she passed away was just kind of like a huge relief for me and a big reminder that I need to tell myself every single day. Okay. Some of these other ones are not as serious, but some of them have to do with academia. Like I regret not applying for my master's, yet. I regret not going to law school. But when I really sat down and thought about all these different regrets that I had in my life, I stopped to think about why I decided to not make them and why, was it fear holding me back, or was it something that I just really did not want to pursue? And one of the biggest themes that I have in my own life is, regretting not going to law school. But it's not to say that I don't know, like I sit back and I think like, okay, if I would have gone to law school, I would not have been there for my mom. And even now, I've really given a lot more thought into it. And it's something that I decided I really didn't want to pursue. And so, realistically speaking, yes, it was a regret. But I think I've moved past it now and to say that, like, it's a good thing that I didn't go. And if I want to go now, I can still go. But I've really decided, like, I don't think that's for me. I think I'm going to pursue a completely different career path. In like academia and stuff. So, but I wouldn't have been able to realize that without, either making that decision or moving in a completely different direction. So that's like the biggest thing that I really loved from this particular exercise. And reading the book in general was just that you realize a lot of the things that you think are regrets are just choices that you've made, and you can still make different choices. And if you want to go back and make those choices again, like there's still time. So the second package that was in there is from page 131. And this is around the time when Nora decides that she wants to pursue she wants to pursue a career that she had thought of when she was a little girl, which was a glacial, scientist, I believe. I don't know if I said that correctly. A glacial scientist of sorts, where you go and you observe glaciers and like their melting rate and all that good stuff. So this one I thought was really cute because if you read the book, you'll know exactly why I think it's adorable. But it is a almost Tiffany blue ladle and a robin's egg. I don't know what color. It's like a blue-green color. But first of all, this is so freaking adorable. I love this shade, and who doesn't love rose gold? I'm so basic. But it comes with this little slip, like this little note, or it comes with an excerpt from the book, and it says, "She fell to her knees and started clanging the ladle against the saucepan and shouted at the top of her lungs, 'Bear! Bear! Bear!'" So yeah, so this is it's really cute. So I thought this was a really cute one for me. And yes, I am going to use the soup ladle because who doesn't have enough ladles? Okay. The third package came around page 195. And if you're anything like me and you've been obsessed with Netflix for the past like year and a half, and you know that they've been coming out with some really awesome shows, like Netflix originals. And one of the greatest originals that I have seen to date has been the Queen's Gambit. Are you on the Queen's Gambit like me? Because I'm obsessed. I was obsessed. I'm still obsessed. So good. The fashion, who would have thought that I would like a show about chess? Okay, like the most, it blows my mind. All right. So again, if you're like me, then you decided I want to learn how to play chess. Okay, I want to learn. I don't know how to play chess. I know how to play checkers, and that's about it. So I just thought this next gift was so perfect, and like it was one of those like serendipitous moments for me because it's a chess set. Yeah, it's so cool. Like how weird and like awesome is it that I have been wanting to learn how to play chess, and in my first package from Once Upon a Book Club is a cute chess set. So it folds up, and so you can use it as like an actual playable chessboard. It has the pieces in it as well. I honestly, look at how cute these are. They're just cute little wooden pieces all in there. And on the front of it, it said, "The game is never over until it's over." And with like life, I think especially for women, or I think especially for a lot of people my age, kind of late 20s, like early 30s, we think that if we don't have everything figured out by this point, then all is lost and there's nothing you can do about her. She's a lonely spinster and she's just made to live her life at a nunnery. No, that's not the case. Girl, life is just beginning. Every single day is a brand new chance for you to live your life and reimagine something differently. My mom had a friend who was like 82 and she had just graduated from law school. Insane. And she decided, I'm gonna go to law school. There's nothing else for me to do. Like, and she pursued law, and I think she's still pursuing law. I think she's like 90 something, and I don't know. I don't remember how old she is, but you know, I've heard stories of people who like just quit their jobs in their 40s and now they're like great artists. And I mean, Toni Morrison didn't write and publish her first great book until she was like 42, I think. Oprah didn't become famous until she was like in her mid to late 30s, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so every day is a brand new day for you to just completely change your life. And if you don't like what's going on, then change it. And look, I'm gonna be honest. I know that like, I think there's like this thing called like toxic optimism where you're just like, okay girl, like you can do it, like every day, brand new day. And that's not what I'm trying to convey here. I think that you do really need to sit down with yourself and think like, okay, what is it that I need to change? What is it that I don't like about myself? What is it that I do like about myself? Like, don't be so hard on, you know, don't overthink and overanalyze like I do every single day, where I'm like, I'm messy and I'm lazy and all these things. And it's like, girl, like give yourself a break. Be nice to yourself, okay? I just take a breath, write everything down, and kind of clear up a lot of the mental gunk that's going on up there. Just like the timing of this book, I think was just a stark reminder for me to cut myself some slack and to realize that a lot of the decisions I've made in my life have been for a reason, and I'm here with a purpose, whatever that purpose is. If that purpose is just to make people like you happy and laugh, or to make, you know, to make something of the home life that I have, and to just bring joy to my partner, or to bring joy to my friends, and to, you know, just make a kind impact on the world, that's a purpose. I don't have to be like a super famous celebrity, and, you know, I don't have to go do all these like crazy social things to be noticed in order to make an impact. And so, do I want to do that? Absolutely. I think everybody thrives off of the possibility of being known by everybody, but that's like a whole other thing. So yeah, so that was the third one. The last package is from page 266, and I think this was my favorite, this was like my favorite portion of the book. And I do want to read kind of where Nora's at here. And it's when she has already gone like life through life, and she finally stumbles upon like the last life that she really finds herself wanting to live. And she has a new, you know, husband, and she has a daughter, And she's an author, and she's a professor, and it's all the things that she kind of wanted out of life. But for some reason, she gets pulled from that life and pulls back into the library. And, you know, the librarian, Mrs. Elm, is kind of telling her, like, everything's falling apart, which means either you're dying or something's going on in your root life, because that's the only way that for things, like, for time to move forward, is something has to be changing in your root life. So as the library is crumbling around Nora and Mrs. Elm instructs Nora to go find a book that has no writing in it and is still intact, and for her to just pen a new life for herself in order to make her way back to her root life. And Nora goes and she tries to find it, and she's scrambling and she's writing all these different things. And that would be the only way for Nora to be pulled back into her root life, is to be able to find something that aligns with her new want from life. And as she's there, she's writing, and she starts writing, Nora wanted to live, and nothing happens. And so she tries again, and she says, Nora decided to live. Nothing. She tries again. Nora was ready to live. Nothing. And so she's writing all these different things that happen, so she's writing all of these different ways to say, like, she is alive. She wants to be alive. And finally, she decides to write, I am alive. And with that, the ground shook like fury, and every last remnant of the Midnight Library dissolved into dust. And with that, the last package that we get is a pen. And it says, you don't have to understand life. You just have to live it. And I know we get caught up a lot in the what ifs of life. And we get caught up in the chaos of life. And we get caught up in how ugly life can be sometimes. But life is also beautiful. And life is also full of full opportunities for you to live over and over and over again. And every day is a brand new day for you to live your life. So with all the lessons that Nora took from her lives and all the lives that she was able to live, she finds herself back in her root life, and she's able to make just different adjustments and realize that if she had been there for, you know, for this person, and she could be there for this person, and she could find fulfillment in just being present in different people's lives and just being like this kind of beacon of light. And this, you know, it's so funny. My cousin just texted me, passion, this American life lacks passion, which is true. I think everything is very serendipitous. So if you take away anything from this book and from, you know, this video, it's that just move forward and live your life as authentically and as kind as possible, and discover your passions in different ways. I want to sit for a second and say that one of the biggest arguments that I ever had with my mom was that she was just so worried that I could never, like, find a passion. And I've kind of been in these moments before where I'm just like, what is my passion in life? I don't know. I've just known how to, like, be in survival mode, you know? I've had a lot of traumas in my life and a lot of things that happen, and that just kind of have made me be so stuck in survival mode. And I think I woke up one day, especially after reading this book, thinking, like, one, who's to say that I can't be passionate about life? I like being alive. I like all of the things that come with it. I like being able to kill plants. No, I like being able to take care of plants and, you know, sometimes make mistake in overwatering them, and learning and taking care of my dogs and taking care of my partner while he takes care of me, and reading and all the cool Netflix shows that come up, you know, and being able to discuss, like, really awesome topics with my friends instead of just having, like, shallow conversations. Like, bro, some of the conversations that we have, I'm like, if only I would be recording this, like, for public consumption. No, like, it's just fun, you know? So I think you can just be passionate about life. And again, the game isn't over till it's over, and you don't have to understand life, you just gotta live it. I hope you like this format of video. I'm going to try to do more of the Once Upon a Book Club unboxings. Once I kind of level out as to, you know, to catching up with all the old boxes, I will post probably twice a month of the boxes that I get after I read them. But for now, expect to get more kind of like back to back as I read them, and for me to be like behind because I barely started reading my October box. And I will also link the Once Upon a Book Club Instagram and their website down below if you want to go ahead and check that out. Again, I'm not affiliated with them as far as like, I don't make any money off of it. I'm literally just posting the link down there so you can check it out. Well guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for listening. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell so you can get notified for whenever I post videos. I did want to also let you know that I started a book club with my friend Adeseli called the Rory Gilmore Book Club. That will be linked down below, the Instagram, all that information. We are going to be doing a book every month from Rory Gilmore's book list. If you would like to go ahead and hang out with us and discuss and all that good stuff. We're going to be choosing a new book in February, so you can kind of get along with that. And yeah, it's just a fun place for us book nerds to just hang out and kind of widen our repertoire of books. And with that in mind, it's me, your girl Sarah B, reminding you to be kind to yourself. Love ya! Bye!